So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brian Shires, and I am the best man. Well, no, that's the second best man. I'm the second best man, yeah. And so, you know, a lot of people told me as we're doing cocktail hour that they really wanted to know all the sordid details of the bachelor party. Yeah. How many people have seen that movie Fight Club? You don't talk about Fight Club, right? So all that debauchery, all that terrible stuff that happened, we cannot talk about it. But what we can do is we can talk about these two lovely people who've gotten married. I have to say I have a secret. The secret is that I've been waiting for this for a long time. I really have. And I've been waiting for someone to meet Wayne who can reflect back all that he is. And it's taken a long time to find her. And he's finally found her. I've known Wayne for over 20 years, and we met in kind of a simple way, and it was a simple introduction, and we became instant friends. And over the years, we have worlds in common, and have spent hours and hours talking about everything from the layers of elements of the perfect golf swing to psychology, to religion, to politics, to how Bitcoin is going to change the world. I think we're both philosophers together, and that's something that was always precious and has always been precious to me. But Wayne is also someone I think we can all agree, if we want to describe him, one word that you certainly could agree with is passionate. Wayne is incredibly passionate. I mean, I thought I had a good gig. I was going to read that poem about the moon, right? And I kind of nailed it, right? And then along comes Wayne. I mean, what the hell was that, man? That was unbelievable. I felt like I should just go home now. What's the point? Really extraordinary. And that's Wayne, right? Wayne is full of passion, and he's full of, when he describes his vision for the transcendence of music and energy and form and dance, he becomes the thing he's describing, right? He truly is one of those people who has extraordinary lust for understanding, for life. And here's the other thing. He has so much passion about all the people in this room. And he's told me about the vast majority of you. And one of the most beautiful things to do is to watch Wayne talk about someone, because he is so full of awe and so full of appreciation and depth of understanding. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And as much as he has love for us, Nina, he has adoration and a depth of soulful love that I think it's all obvious to everyone here. He is so desperately in love with you. He's kind of like a little schoolboy, actually. I have to say, it was a little embarrassing. I have about 12 or 13 text messages and emails that came from planning our bachelor party and some of the events, coordinating all of our guests from out of town. And I just have one of them. This is coming from a grown man. We were talking about some work that he was doing. He said, and also some very interesting work opportunities percolating. And this Nina girl, she's kind of cool. I have a big crush on her. Think she might like me too, LOL. I mean, honestly, it has been an incredible joy, not just for me, but I'm sure for all those around you, to watch how you have absolutely come alive and in a way kind of been reborn through this process of gathering together this amazing group of incredibly soulful, connected, beautiful people and joining your two worlds. The other thing about Wayne's passion is that he's also extremely compassionate. If you're friends with Wayne, if you're a member of his family, and there is a rough spot, there is a misunderstanding, there is a struggle, there is something, you are guaranteed to have Wayne be the person who wishes to understand you, who wishes to be empathic and in your shoes, to be able to find a bridge, to find a connection, to find a recovery. Wayne's simple wish is to see you clearly, to connect with you clearly, to understand you, and to welcome you. And it's so rare, it's humbling. It really is. I know very few people who do it as naturally and as thoroughly as you. And I've never heard him trash talk anybody. That's crazy. It's amazing. And then there's Nina. I mean, I kind of sometimes, when Lori and I first met you, we thought, is she from another planet? Because she has this almost mystical grace, this elegance that is so completely unaffected. I don't even know if you even know about it. I don't know if you're aware of it, but you're so utterly graceful and kind and compassionate and classy, and you have this incredible combination of fragility and strength, which is just so rare. And Wayne is damn lucky. And here's the thing, my friend. You're going to spend the rest of your life trying to catch up to her. But that's good. That means you did it right. You're very, very lucky. So I've been married for 19 years, and my muse is over there, Lori Shires. We're celebrating 19 years this month rather. And so I have a couple things in parting. One is, there are a couple of secrets that we can pass on to you. You already know the first one. What Lori and I do every year for our anniversaries, instead of like going, hey, should we go to the same place? Does that sound good? You make the reservations? Should I? That's no good. And it should never fall on just the man. That's not okay. That's not fair. So what we devised is this plan where every other year we surprise each other with a weekend away. So I pass that on to you. Trust me, it really works. And then I would say, rely on adventure. Seek adventure in your marriage. Under the roof, outside in the world. Make it fun. Make her life really fun. Dr. Lamier always made Nancy Langer's life fun, one of our old friends. And lastly, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. You know, we all have our points of view, we all have our stance, we all have our need to be individual, but we also really need in marriage to be willing to be seen in all our flaws and faults. And in that is the repair, and in that is the binding of the roots of the trees together. So don't be afraid to be undefended. And lastly, I'll read from, and I know we haven't heard enough about love since our wonderful pastor and all the incredible readings, but I'm going to give you one more from Don Juan de Marcos. There are only 4 questions worth asking. What is sacred? Of what is the spirit made? What is worth living for? What is worth dying for? The answer to all 4 questions is the same, only love. So let's join our glasses, raise them to this marvelous couple, and someone has somehow taken my champagne. To Wayne and Nina, may they have eternal love. May your love last always.
I'm going to go a few years back. Okay? When I first met Nina, who had a different name then. Okay? The Ethiopian system of naming is very straightforward. You could have as many names as you want, and you can change them at any time. Okay? And if that confuses anybody, they can deal with it. Okay, so I met Nina Nagat when she was in high school. And I was falling in love with her sister, Barakat. And when I met Nagat, she was so cute. And she had this gorgeous smile. And I was thinking, gosh, she's in high school. She's so beautiful. Her life must be a party. But I was so wrong. Nagat would often write in her journal, very earnestly, very fervently. And I would ask her, what are you doing? And she says, I'm writing my goals. Why and how and when I am going to achieve them. Oh. And by then, I knew that, okay, there was no money in the house, right? And there was no, and Nina had come over from Ethiopia on a temporary student visa. So there were not, it was not a party. And I tried to soften her expectations. I says, you know, Nagat, you can't get a job without a green card. You can't, well, anyway. 2 weeks later, I'm over at the house. She says, you know what, I got a job. And I said, oh, you know, what kind of rinky-dink outfit would hire somebody without a green card? And she says, the May Company. The May Company. And she went to work for the May Company. And after 3 or 4 months, the cosmetics manager says, oh, hey, I want that girl in cosmetics, Smashbox Cosmetics. And they hired her away from retail. And Nagat became like the best makeup artist ever. Oh. So, and now we had the green card. And I says, you know what, you know, I got a lawyer, and he struck out. And Nagat was like, I mean, the lawyer was saying, okay, this is, the odds are against us. We got to appeal. This is going to be hard. And I tried to tell Nina, I says, you know, you can't, maybe you have to be a little bit less harsh with your goals. Because, you know, this might be difficult. And Nagat told me, she says, I am not going to let difficulties separate me from my goals. It doesn't matter what happens, I will get over the heartache, and wherever I am, I will continue to reach my goals, stronger than before. So, we've got this problem because we're on appeal for a green card. And Nina found her own lawyer. She was going to court with 2 government attorneys against her. Experienced men. They did not have a chance. She went in there. I gotta tell you, she took all the sympathy in the court. every bit of it. When she got through talking on the stand, the opposition did not, the judge did not even want to listen to the opposition, and she won. Well, so Nina kept on working. And her next goal was to graduate from the university. Of course, I come along and I say, hey, the university is not going to accept you so easily. Because they want out-of-state students so they can collect more tuition. And there are a lot of kids, there are kids all over California trying to get into the university. But she got in without a hiccup, without a problem. She went right into Fullerton State College, University of Fullerton. And I said, well, how is that so easy? And she says, well, maybe it was because I scored in the 97th percentile on my SAT test. So here she is working all the time, and in just about 3 years, she graduated from college. Oh, we were so happy. Eric and I cried. Oh my gosh, you're graduating.
The mic for you.
Yeah, graduating. Okay. So you're graduating from college. Yes. And she did. She graduated from college. She went on to obtain the first job that she applied for as a college graduate with ADP, because she wanted a job that would provide her with a car. Then she didn't like it. And she went on to work for a fashion company. And every month, she was written up in the newsletter. She was a star salesperson. She was on her way to becoming the marketing manager of this fashion company. And I called her up there once. And I got her voicemail. And she says, on her voice, get her voice now, she says, it is definitely a beautiful day. I am so sorry that I am not here to talk to you. But please leave me a beautiful message. And I will get back to you. Who's got a beautiful message? But it makes you think. You say, okay, I want to try to think of something. I recited a poem and hung up. So that is Nagat, a beautiful message, a beautiful day. And a lot of people are going to say, Wayne, you are such a lucky guy. But, you know, a lot of things that happen to us are not really from luck. They're from something we do. And Wayne, he met Nina. He looked into her heart. He says, okay, game over. She's mine. What do we got to do here? All us Ethiopians got to stick together. And that was it. And it was definitely a beautiful day, and it is just beginning.
You're not gonna hold it for me? I'm trying to convince him to hold the mic for me too. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole, Nina Nagat's best friend, but I like to call myself her adopted sister too. So anyone who's family in the room, I'm related to you guys too. I'm going to read off of this because I'm going to do my best not to cry or choke or bore you guys, but I know I'm going to veer off course. She already knows. We all know it's going to happen. So I'm so happy today, and my heart is full of joy to be here with you both and to be included in this special moment in both you guys' lives. Nina, you have been such a blessing in my life. You really are. Being here today, so many memories come flooding back, so I'm going to talk about some of them. I remember you and I meeting at work years ago, and it's so funny to think about it and then think of myself standing here today speaking at your wedding. You are truly my best friend, and I'm so grateful for our times together. Little known fact, Nina and I used to work together, and I feel like we bonded so much because we spent so much time in the car together getting lost. We GPSed, Waze, we used Waze. It doesn't matter what we did. We had to leave like almost an hour early to get to every customer appointment because we would just get lost. And I don't know if it's because we kept talking the whole time or if we really are just that crazy. So we were an unstoppable sales duo together. I mean, who wouldn't love us, right? I think back to our Roaring 20s joint birthday party, which was great and hopefully inspiration for today. And breakfast at Tiffany's nights, our Audrey Hepburn obsession, jetting off to Mexico and having adventures swimming with dolphins, kissing dolphins, and snorkeling in the sun. And we both freaked out in the water. There are so many fish, it's just scary. But there's so many memories. We've talked, we've danced, we've cried, we've laughed. And then I remember when you first met Wayne. Wayne, she truly lights up when she talks about you. And you make her so happy. I'm gonna really get through this without crying, so just bear with me. The first time she talked about you, she was so excited, and she said, I met this guy, his name's Wayne England. And my response was, he's definitely a fake person. He gave you a fake name. That's we gotta do some research on this guy. He can't be real. Who has that cool of a name? It just doesn't happen. But Wayne, you're real, so I'm so happy to be here. Oh my God, okay, I'm gonna keep going. That was really like the peak of this speech, so I'm gonna just wrap it up. I have so enjoyed getting to know you, Wayne, and you are absolutely the perfect partner for my best friend. And she's my best friend, so I'm very protective and have very high standards, so that's a huge compliment to you. I am so happy that your two souls found each other, and I'm gonna just wrap this up now. So please, everybody, toast to Nina and Wayne. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. England. Love you guys.
Anybody else? Anybody else? What's that? Oh, the maid of honor? I didn't marry Wayne. I married his sister 23 years ago in 2 weeks. So, but I want everything that's been said today about both of them is absolutely 100% accurate. And I can go back and just tell you every word that was said that's who they are. But out of my own mouth, and what I observed about the two of them, and Wayne knows this, when I first met Nina, I turned to Wayne and I was in tears. I said, you've got to figure out a way to keep her. You've got to figure out a way to keep her. not every man gets this lucky. And it wasn't that I had to know her for 20 years or 15 years or whatever. It was just this you can just you know a person when you just feel them. They do something to the room, to everything that you're around. She's just so positive, and that grace that people talked about, that's so true. And those eyes, Wayne talks about those eyes, and yes. But one thing about those eyes that I have to share. One time when she picked me up from the airport and she took me to an Ethiopian place, and usually I'm really like just like her, I'm really giving and I want to pay for things, and there's sometimes a little fight about who's going to pay and what. So anyways, we had this beautiful 3-hour lunch. It was beautiful. We had the coffee and the smoke went all over, It was absolutely beautiful. And then I got up normally because that's what I do. I just got up and I went to, and she pushed like my arm down, like to sit down, to stay seated. And the way she looked at me, as like my older sisters, I have 2 older sisters. The way she looked at me with those eyes, I don't know if, Wayne, you've gotten to see that part, but you have to listen. You have to listen to those eyes. And I sat back down in my seat, and I knew what she was talking about, so she went and paid for the meal. Thank you. And I wish you both the happiness that hopefully that the 7 billion people in this world can figure out how to do together. And I think today, we're not 7 billion people, but we could send a wish to them in our own way that could reflect and ripple across the earth to those 7 billion people, and that we could experience love from them. So thank you. Thank you, Nina and Wayne. For you.
Can you hear us? Okay, I do not know what I'm doing here. They kind of rented me with the glasses and the plates. And thank you. But I am proud to claim that I am the oldest friend of Nagat. We knew each other since 1990 something. And we went to school together. And the best part about our friendship is both of us do not remember how we met, where we met. But after all these years, what we can say is we are truly good friends. Friends of the heart, friends in prayer, and friends in everything, sisters, yes. Ready, you want to add to that?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm one of her 5th sister. She's my little sister out of 10. So when we are really baby, everybody likes to smooch Nina because she's really cute gumbo. She looks like a gumbo, miss, and nice. And congratulations, Wayne and Nina. She's happy, and you're happy, I can see. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Toast to Wayne and Nagat. Nagatiye and Wayne.